Hi everybody, it is Tuesday and I haven't checked in for a while, so I thought I would. Last week went okay. It wasn't really great. It was okay. I've finally kind of gotten in the groove of doing things at home, school, and all of that. And so, of course, I'm sure soon they'll be lifting all these restrictions. And then I'll have to figure everything out all over again. So my 11-year-old daughter has been wanting to kind of join me on this journey. So we have been looking at some different books. We've got one is a family fit plan, and then another is 30-day family. I don't know. I'll get them and put the links in the description. Anyway, so I have done a lot better this week. On Saturday, I went rollerblading with my kids, so that was a little bit of exercise, and I didn't fall, which is great because I'm kind of old and that would suck. And my 6-year-old learned how to ride a bike without training wheels, so now she always wants to go for a bike ride. So we went for a bike ride last night around the neighborhood. Yesterday I had 1 cup of hot chocolate, and for breakfast I ate steel-cut oats, and for lunch I had a salad with just some croutons and pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds, and I made the dressing with balsamic and apple cider vinegar and olive oil. And I also had a bowl of berries and kiwi, so it was blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, and kiwi, and an apple slice that my daughter gave me. I don't even really like blueberries, but I know that they're healthy, so I decided to go with that. And so for dinner on Saturday night, I had a smoothie, and it's the heavy metal detox smoothie from the medical medium celery juice book, and I'll put a link on that as well. I really like it, and my kids really like it, even though it has cilantro in it. But they really like it. And last night's smoothie was a pear, an apple, some carrots, cucumber, and frozen strawberries, and my kids also like that. So it's been nice because I can get them to eat their fruits and vegetables. And it's not a heavy meal, I guess, at the end of the night. I'm trying to eat most of my calories and stuff. I'm trying to eat the most during the day when I'm the most active, and not snack on stuff at night. Sometimes my husband and I will stay up late and we'll eat popcorn or ice cream, and it doesn't do me very well. I don't feel good at all when I do that, and I feel like even though popcorn isn't super fattening, I feel like every bag adds an extra 2 pounds to me. Like literally it feels like it. So I've been more diligent this week. I've kept my food log. I've got, this is what I started this week. I didn't do the best yesterday on snacks or the middle meals. I did have some chocolate, but I also did really well otherwise. And today I made homemade hot chocolate with chocolate almond milk and some raw cacao. And we didn't have maple syrup, so I kind of made some with honey and maple flavoring, and a little bit of salt, and it was actually pretty good, and my 11-year-old liked it too. So a while back she had allergy testing done, and she had a slight allergy to milk, and my younger daughter as well, when she was like 2, we thought she had milk allergies. She was just a little bit sensitive to it, and she has a slight milk allergy as well. And so I recently my son was tested too, and he's great. That guy has like a crazy immune system. So I did get the results back from my Everlywell test that I talked about a couple weeks ago, and I was actually kind of surprised. My biggest, or food sensitivity, excuse me, not allergies. My biggest sensitivity was to bananas, and it was really high. It was close to being like really sensitive. So I was 99, and the scale there is 59 to 116, and so I was a little bit under being, really sensitive to it. And then in my less sensitive categories, there was asparagus, and egg white, and ginger, which I really love ginger, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Milk, cow milk. I've kind of known that even before I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. I noticed that I would have issues after drinking a lot of milk or eating ice cream, especially ice cream. And oats. I was kind of in the mid-range on that, but still a sensitivity, which I love oatmeal, so I don't know. And pineapple, that was pretty high. It was almost up there with the banana, but it was just short. It was 53, and the cutoff is 58. And yogurt, which was pretty high, it was at 43. But I don't really eat a lot of yogurt just because of the dairy. It just bothers me. So, and then lower in the low category, the range is 0 to 17, and there was a couple that I was at 17, so apples and squash, and I really like both of those, and I haven't really noticed any issues when I eat those. When I was pregnant with my older daughter, I ate apples all day long. That's just what I ate, and now I eat them, but I think I've eaten so many of them that I kind of avoid them if I can. So I looked at things that were within 10 to 17 on that low range, and broccoli was at a 13, cottage cheese was at a 12, chicken is 10, cinnamon is 10, which I also love cinnamon, crab is 11, eggplant 11, garlic 15, and bell peppers are 14, which I really love all of those things. The only thing that doesn't really bother me on here is cottage cheese. I don't care if I never eat that again. I mean, I like it. It's just not something I really go for. And so everything else was pretty good, I guess. So some of these I'm not really sure, but my gluten sensitivity was actually at a 2, which I don't know, I'm super confused there because with Hashimoto's, gluten is a trigger, I guess, to produce more antibodies. And for me, I know that it does affect me that way because a few years ago I went to a chiropractor who does like the kinesiology and food, allergy testing stuff, and he had told me to stay off gluten for 2 weeks, and I did. And at that point, I wasn't bloated. I actually started to lose weight. I wasn't tired all the time. The brain fog went away. And my thyroid medication was actually lowered. And that was the first time it had happened because it had always been increased every time I went to see my endocrinologist. And of course, I decided that it would be a great idea to buy donuts for my kids and I while my husband was out of town. And then I pretty much just fell off the wagon. And it's been hard to recover ever since, because I don't know why. I'm just one of those people that if I really have to be very, very disciplined to stick with something, and that's why I'm doing this, because it's accountability for me. And so I've made some changes. I'm getting up earlier now, between 7:30 and 7:45. I was sleeping in till at least 9:30, sometimes 10 o'clock. I go to bed now between 10:30 and 11:30. I try to read before I go to bed, or color on my iPad, just to kind of get my brain to wind down. And I wake up early, and it's nice because it's the only time I get without children. It's peaceful. Everybody's asleep, so I can either read scriptures or, you know, exercise or whatever it is that I need to do. I've been mostly just reading scriptures, and that's been really nice. My 11-year-old wants to get up with me and exercise with me and stuff. And right now, our basement, where our workout room is currently not usable. My husband is getting ready to wire the basement, and he just wired our sprinkler system, so we've got insulation down, you know, where I would be working out, and it's kind of a mess. So my daughter and I are just going to be doing yoga, and, you know, walking and biking or whatever, and we've got some weights that we can use that don't require a bench or whatever. So, I mean, we can still make it work, but we're just trying to do something. And so also this morning I took my stats. So the last, I think in my very first video, I had shared some of my stats from my little scale, which this is the one that I was talking about. It's got this little handle that comes undone, and you stand and you hold this out in front of you. And you can keep track of, I think, like 4 different people, and it tracks so many days and stuff, so it's kind of cool. But I have noticed that the weight, when I take my weight, when I'm using the little handlebar, I noticed that my weight is like 2 pounds higher than if I was just to stand on the scale itself. And I did check that with my other scale, and just scale wise, this one is accurate. So I'm not sure why it adds the extra weight when I'm trying to measure everything. So this morning, let's see. So this morning my weight was 149, and I checked that on both scales, and my BMI is 23.6, my body fat percentage is 30.2, my muscle percentage is 30.7, my resting metabolism is 1442, my body age is 34, which I'm still happy with that since I'm 39, and my visceral fat level is still 5. That's never changed, and hopefully I can change that with this. And then I also took my measurements with this little healthometer. It's just a little, you know, you just kind of put it around whatever part you're measuring, and then you press adjust, so, and then it adjusts to whatever it is. But there's a little button up here that you can press, and it'll go to the next thing that you measure. I'll put a link for this too. I believe I got this on Amazon, so I can put a link to that in the description. So today, my bicep, flexed as I could, was 10.3 inches, which for me I think is pretty small. I believe at one point it was a little higher. My husband and I were keeping track for a little while, and let's see. Yeah, my bicep was 11.4 before, so it's gone down a little bit, but I haven't worked out in a really long time, and I haven't been super healthy, so I guess that's better than going down a lot. So my bicep was 10.3 inches, my thigh was 21.4, and that was just standing, not flexed or anything. My waist was 29.8, and my hips were 36. I didn't measure the muffin top. I know it's there, and I know it's gotta go. My hips were 36 inches. My calf, the one calf that I measured, was 14.1, and that was flexed. So I'm gonna try to improve on those where I can, however I can. So I can put a link to these little measuring sheets too that go with the scale. One came with it, and then I managed to find more online on their site, I believe. So I've been looking a lot into different diets, And I am going to try vegan. I know it sounds kind of blah, but I'm just gonna try it. I've watched a couple documentaries on meatless diets, and it seems to be really good. And I've looked into it. I've looked at scholarly articles and all of that. And so one of the documentaries I watched on Netflix was What the Health, and yeah, it makes me not want to eat meat at all. And then another one, oh geez, I can't remember what the other one is. I'll find it and put a link to it. Anyways, they both have kind of, one was more scientific, the other one, the one I can't remember, they did some like scientific, studies and research with the people that were in the documentary, and it even has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and it was kind of cool. So I'm gonna try. I'm trying to do meatless, which in this house is kind of hard. We bought half of a cow just recently, and we still have some from last year and a couple of years ago. And my husband and I still have deer that we got on a hunt a couple of years ago, and even some from before that, because I got one in 2016, he got one in 2017, and we both got one in 2018, and we didn't go last year. So we've got a lot of meat in our freezer, and we buy chicken and stuff from Costco. We don't really do a lot of pork, so I mean, I don't have to worry about that because I don't really eat it. I'm not one of those people that loves bacon. I do, I like it once in a while, but I don't go out of my way to make it. And if I do, I bake it, and that's the best way, I think, that to make it, and it tastes really good. So I'm also gonna try to get on here some pictures of me now, and then kind of go as I progress, just so I know what I have accomplished, and maybe if any of you need inspiration, maybe it will inspire you too. I am very, very insecure about my body. I don't think I've ever been, aside from after I had my daughter, my 6-year-old, I was pretty small for a little bit, but then I started eating ice cream every single night, and late at night. My husband worked late nights back then, and I just didn't eat super healthy, and I have a hard time. I'm kind of one of those people that just stays busy, and so I don't realize, like, oh, I need to make dinner, and then I'm trying to find something healthy last minute to make for the kids, and I don't necessarily eat it myself because I'm trying to be busy or trying to get stuff done. And I know that it's important to sit and eat with your kids, so that's something I'm trying to do. And so yeah, I know my 11-year-old has some digestive issues. She's got chronic idiopathic urticaria, which is considered autoimmune. I don't really understand a lot about autoimmune right now. As according to medical medium, it's not actually the body attacking itself. A lot of it has to do with Epstein-Barr virus and some different things. So, and I've kind of looked that up, and there is a lot of legitimacy to what he says. So, scholarly articles and different studies that they're just now coming up with that confirm what he said. So, I do want to try to kind of follow his recommendations and stuff. And then I also have the 10-day sugar detox or 10-day detox book from Dr. Mark Hyman, and there's also a cookbook that goes with that I have. So I'm trying to cut down on the sugar, and I know, so last year when I was depressed, I didn't really eat. If I did, I ate saltines and drank water, and that was my staple when I was in high school. So I ended up losing, I didn't have cravings for sugar. I just didn't eat candy, or sugar, or cookies, or donuts, or any of that. And I ended up losing weight, like I said in the first video. I lost almost 20 pounds, and I didn't look gross. It was like, my body was in fat burn all the time. When I looked at my Fitbit, you know, the stats and stuff, I was constantly in fat burn, like 9 or 10 hours a day, which was great. Although the reasons why was not great. I had really bad anxiety and depression to the point where I ended up going to the doctor on my birthday, because I felt like my heart was just going to explode. And I have a really good doctor, so I've been working with him. But my goal is to not be on antidepressants and to not have to be on thyroid medication, because they're just masking whatever's going on. They're not helping. The thyroid hormones aren't helping. They don't make the Hashimoto's go away. They don't make my hypothyroid go away. It's just something that I take to cover up. It's just a Band-Aid. And I don't want to overload my liver. I want to be healthy. I don't want to be one of those people that's, you know, in bad shape and constantly relying on medication. I take antidepressants and I take an anti-anxiety medication just to go to sleep. You know, I take an antidepressant and my thyroid pill in the morning, and then I can't eat for a little while, and so that kind of throws off my day. And then I have to take my anti-anxiety pill and my other dose of my one antidepressant, and then another antidepressant, which has given me tinnitus really bad, and it's really loud and I hate it, so I want to get off of that one. But it's kind of scary because I'm at a point where I'm happy and I can enjoy life, and I can, you know, little things don't bother me anymore, and so it's kind of scary. I've got some work to do with my doctor, but I do believe that I can get off of the meds and just take, you know, vitamin supplements, whatever I need, but not to the point where I'm taxing my liver. So yeah, so now I've, you know, got that sugar addiction back, and it is an addiction. And it's funny because I quit smoking, it was 8 years ago last month, and I don't have cravings. 2 weeks after I quit, I didn't have any cravings. I actually hate the smell of smoke. It makes me sick. And, you know, I'm a lot healthier for it and a lot happier for it. And it was a blessing that I was able to quit for so many reasons I won't get into now. But so if I could do that, and I smoked for like 20 years, you know, from the time I was a teenager. And so if I can do that, I can stop eating sugar, and I just have to stop bringing it into the house. You know, I think snacking on things like a dairy-free chocolate chips or something, you know, that's okay. I really like hummus, and we've got these really nice, yummy artisan rosemary crackers from Costco that, of course, they were out of last time we went to find them. But, you know, little things like that, little snacks that I can enjoy but aren't horribly bad. So that's where I'm at, and my daughter and I are getting ready to do our yoga, and then I've got to go mow a yard for our old neighbors who were the best neighbors ever, and they're elderly, and so I help them out there. So I get to do that, but the sun is shining, it's very nice out here, and probably do that and then go for a bike ride when I get back, because my daughter, again, loves to ride her bike now. And I'm thinking about walking or riding my bike over to that neighbor's house, because